Now, this for my DC people right here, man. You know, we have a hotbed of the best boxers in the sport of boxing out of this area, man. Where do you rate yourself among the DC legends, man, that put the gloves on and stepped into that square circle, man?
Man, skill-wise, I feel as though I'm one of the best people that's done it in our area right now. You can't take. We had a lot of people that became world champions in our area, in this area.
I think we had like 4 that held it at one time.
I mean, we had Reddy Bowe who was here. We had Sean Bay,
Keith
Mark Johnson, Keith Holmes. Who else? Daryl Coley.
I think did Chop Chop have it?
Chop Chop. William Joppy. You know, we had a lot of guys from our area that did something, but I think I'm definitely more talented and I bring more to the table. I can do more in the ring than what a lot of these guys did. I think the closest one to me was Mark Johnson. You know, he was on the pound for pound list for the longest, for about 4 years. And even with that, you know, the title that I got, I knocked the guy out that beat that beat Mark Johnson. You know, the guy that beat Mark Johnson was Johnny Gonzalez. Johnny Gonzalez beat Mark Johnson. I think he was like 18 years old, and he took the title from Mark. I took the title from Johnny. You know, so we definitely.
Well, that's a little bit of boxing history right there.
So we definitely passing the torch on to one another. You know, I think we use a lot of these guys as examples, the things to do and the things not to do. You know, a lot of these guys, a lot of fighters in general. At the end of the day, like I said, we don't have that support system behind us. So at the end of the day, when our career's over and done with, a lot of these guys really don't got nothing to show for the blood, the sweat, the tears, the hard work, the sacrificing, and etc. You know, you don't got nothing to show but just your body all beat up, bruised up, you know, and a lot of debt.
You know, speaking on that, do you feel in our area with the legends, man,
Oh, you gotta put Ray Leonard in there too.
Definitely, man. Pop.
And Ray, you gotta put Ray in there. You gotta put Ray in there for sure.
Do you feel they give back to the youth boxers coming up as far as like knowledge and wisdom and understanding?
Hell yeah. I prefer to deal with the babies than the adults. You know, with children, their brains is like a sponge. You know, and it's important. They say it takes a village to raise a child. You know, so you gotta really take the time out and the energy. These are the same little children that's gonna be growing up with my baby. So if I know that if I take the time out to help mold one of these youngins to be a real man or to be a real young woman, you know, to conduct themselves in that way, then I make society better for my children as well as the other children that's out here as well.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this because I asked Keith about this. He said one of the things that's missing with these boxers coming up today is the fundamentals. He said the fundamentals are lost. Do you agree with that?
Hell yeah. A lot of these guys aren't fundamentally sound. You know, a lot of these guys aren't fundamentally sound. You have guys that are good athletes. That's why I say it's intellect over athleticism. You know, you have guys that's good athletes, meaning they got good eyes, they can see stuff coming a lot better than the other people, so they can get out of the way quicker. They got good legs, you know, they got good explosion within their body. That's just a physical attribute. You know, that's not the basic fundamentals. You know, you got a lot of guys that's winning because they're good athletes, but when they get in there with a guy that's not even as great as an athlete as them, but is more technically sound than them, that's where they're gonna have problems at. You know, so that's definitely a big issue though. That's the root. That's like building a house. You want to build a house from the ground up, you know, so a lot of these guys, they skip that point.
Okay, because recently we just had Shakur Stevenson move up, vacate at the 126 to move up to the 130. Does that have an interest for you fighting him?
It ain't have an interest for me.
Not really?
It never had an interest for me, to be honest with you, and to be honest, I don't think he wanted to fight me either, you know, realistically speaking. You know, even to go back into the Devin Haney situation. I seen Shakur. You see, it was a video of Shakur and Devin Haney spawn before at Mayweather Gym, and that shit was everywhere. Shakur got the better of that shit. Shakur got the better of that spawn. He got out on Devin Haney, if you ask me. So I can easily gauge how the work would go with me and the Devin Haney because I work with Shakur. I've worked with Shorty before. And if you was to pay attention, you know, this how you know that the shit that I say is real and is relevant. Go and watch one of Shakur old interviews. They'd asked Shakur Stevenson about who they feel though a fight to go between me and the Tank Davis. And Shakur said, well, you know what, I'm gonna keep it 100. I work with both of them. And the hardest punch that I've ever gotten hit with was by a right hook by Gary Russell Jr. You know what I'm saying? That's some factual shit. You can go and look that up yourself. You know what I'm saying? I work with Shakur. He's a hell of a fighter. I knew he'd become a world champion. You know, he still got a lot in this game that he got to learn and develop on. But he's technically he's Sam, so he'll definitely be able to get over and rock with these other guys.
You know, you brung up Tank, man. What's your thoughts on him working with Floyd right now?
Both of them some suckers, man. I can't get with it. I can't get with them. You know what I'm saying? They say, well, Gary won't sell, this, that. Everybody and their mother will watch me and Tank fight. Everybody and their mother. The issue is, I pose too much of a threat. Tank been ducking my little brother since he was in the amateurs. He ain't want to fight Antoine or he ain't want to fight against Antoine and Tony on them when he was in the amateurs. They ain't want to fight them, man. We used to have, my little brother had to make Tank fight people in tournaments, to make weight because he was acting like a sucker. Like, I really know these guys personally, you know what I'm saying? They fake behind this media and this social media and Instagram shit. Come on, man, I'm real, man. It's real over here. Like, we know, I can see the kinks in these dudes' armor, man. I can see the sucker in these guys, man. They a lot of these dudes suckers and they got a little bit of talent and ability, and they hide their suckerness behind their talent and ability. I'm one of them dudes that can go ahead and weed through all that and say, I can see the bitch in you. I'm a real fighter. They boxers, it's a difference.
How optimistic are you that you're going to get the fights that you want before your career is over?
I mean, I'm not sure, but this is something that I love to do. I love the sport that I'm in. I'm grateful that I'm in the sport. I feel like I needed this sport. To be honest with you. I was naturally an aggressive child. It took for my mother or my father, or my fathers and them, to recognize my level of aggression and say, hey, we got to put them in some type of contact sport, karate, football, or something. So boxing was just the perfect outlet for me. So even if I don't get the fights that I want to get, you know, and prove to the fans, to the people that's out there, a lot of y'all already know. Y'all, it's still some real people out here, and I know y'all can see the suckiness and the bitchiness in the back of these fighters. But it's cool, that's neither here or there. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's my job to continue to push, continue to grind. I'm a family man, and it's my job to assure my offspring a better chance of survival. Point blank period, I ain't gonna let nothing stand in the way of that.
You know, with that being said, is there any plans for you to fight before the year is out? Or?
Oh, you know, I definitely want to get another one in before the year out. Already got one in February, so I want to definitely get one more in before the year is out. I seen that Showtime, they already to put down their whole little rundown list, but there's still slots available, so we can definitely it's still a possibility that we can get a fight in before then. I definitely want to fight one of these guys. I told y'all, I just got off the phone with Al Hemby yesterday. You know, we had a very serious conversation. I'm very interested in fighting the Terrence Crawford, moving up to 147. All I have to be is 141 for the commission to say the fights will go. You know, I don't have to make 147.
Do you think he would take that fight? In your honest opinion, do you think he would take that fight?
Man, it's real hard to dictate how suckers move, so I don't know. It's hard to dictate how punks move. When you got somebody that's thorough, you can kind of bank on it. Yeah, well, nah. If you was thorough, you'll be like, you know what, Bob, I know we got this going on here, but this something that I really want to get off my chest. And you know what I'm saying? I want to prove to the world.
Because currently he doesn't have a fight right now.
He don't got a fight. I want to prove to the world. I want to prove to the fans. And I want to redeem myself for letting this man punch me in the face and not doing nothing. What's up? We can cross the bridge. I'm right here. Come on, man.
That would be a huge pay-per-view event.
And it would be a huge pay-per-view event. Who wouldn't pay to see one of the best big guys fight one of the best little guys? Who wouldn't? And I actually got the skills to pay the bills. I'm one of them guys that can really jump multiple weight classes and support this shit and back it up behind actual skill, actual talent, not because of clout or fame or notoriety. A lot of people, they pick people based upon fame or notoriety. They don't even have to know the individuals. They don't have to know nothing about boxing at all. But if they watch TV and they be like, well, who you think gonna win? In most cases, they gonna pick whoever's the most popular. They gonna pick whoever's the most popular. They're not picking off of just pure talent and ability. That's real stupid of them.
Has in your opinion, has boxing moved from gladiators to a popularity contest?
Hell yeah, man. This shit turned to WWE and some more shit, wrestling and everything else. I'm too real. I'm too raw and too real for the fake shit that go in boxing. The managers, the promoters, the fighters, they know I'm a stand-up guy. I'm not going for anything. It gotta make sense if you want me to be a part of it. If it don't make sense, then I'm not a part of it. I'm not somebody that's gonna get bullied or muscled into anything. I'm gonna stand on all 10 toes that the God, my mother, and my father blessed me with. That's it, that's all. And to all y'all suckers, y'all in the way, man.
Now,
come and see me.
Now I got asked because already Tank is fighting Leo. Do you think that fight will ever happen with you and Leo in the future or no?
To be honest with you, if Tank beat him, I only want to fight Leo.
Mm-hmm.
What's the purpose of fighting? He been in my weight division for 5 years. He's been running for 5 years. It ain't no fun beating up on somebody that ain't trying to fight back.
Now let's say by miracle or
Well, I am gonna say this. I'm not gonna write Leo out. The reason why I'm not gonna write Leo out is based upon the fact that one, the fight's gonna be at 130. Tank already showed that his living habits and the way that he's not, what's the word I'm looking for? His professionalism when it comes to the sport, he shows his lack of it. He just moved up to 135. When he fought Gamboa, he ain't make 135. He didn't make the weight for 135. So you mean to tell me you're gonna go all the way down to 130, 5 pounds less than the weight that you couldn't make when you already had 7 to 8 weeks to prepare to make this weight? Now you mean to tell me you can go to 35? Go to 30? I think he gonna put a lot of strain on his body. I still think Tank has a puncher's chance, but because they're fighting at 30, I wouldn't rule Leo Santa Cruz completely out, because Tank might fuck around and kill himself trying to make 130. He might kill himself trying to make 130, and even in the Gamboa fight, after the 5th round, he was only throwing, 4 punches around? Leo's a pressure fighter. He throws a lot of punches. If Leo get him past 5 and his gas tank start hitting E and Leo still punching and running at him, Leo can make some shake.
Let's say Leo wins that fight. What's the possibilities of the matchup with you and him? Could that be made since Al Heyman would be involved with that?
If he win, then that'll be a fight that we'll entertain. But if he lose, then it's a waste of my time.
Correct.
Just like Tevin Farmer. I was gonna fight Tevin Farmer. He said something about he wanted to fight me if he beat JoJo, X, Y, and Z. But JoJo spanked that ass. Good. I knew JoJo was gonna be a world champion. Shout out to JoJo. He a good dude. You know what I'm saying? He one of the real ones in the sport. He knew what he was up against. Fighting me, and he was willing to put it all on the line. His best wasn't good enough, but he kept pushing and became a world champion. And with that fight, it was a unanimous decision, and he whitewashed Tevin Farmer. He did whatever he wanted to Tevin Farmer after having his eye split open in the 2nd round. For 10 rounds with a whole split cut eye.
But you said that last year that JoJo Diaz was.
Yeah,
you said that.
I said that. I knew JoJo was gonna do it. Beat Tevin Farmer. I knew he had what it took to beat Tevin Farmer. I'm just an exceptional type guy. My skills is second to none. Anybody that stepped in the ring and competed against me, they'll tell you.
Yeah,